I died choking on my own blood in the trunk of a rented Chevy, the kind you grab from Hertz at LAX, because it's cheap and unremarkable. My stepmother's voice echoed in my skull like a bad acid trip. Paisley, honey, just pack your things and go. This family's moving on without you. Right before the baseball bat cracked my ribs and the duct tape sealed my screams. But death isn't the end. It's a goddamn reset button, and when I gasped awake in my old bedroom, sweat-soaked sheets tangled around me like a noose, the calendar on my wall screamed 2018, not 2025. I'd clawed my way back, 7 years young again, body 19, and buzzing with the rage of a lifetime stolen, ready to unpack every lie they'd buried with me. The first thing I did was puke into the trash can beside my bed, the sour burn of bile mixing with the metallic tang of phantom blood. My room hadn't changed. Posters of indie bands peeling at the edges, a stack of dog-eared Vonnegut novels on the nightstand, and that stupid lava lamp mom. Real mom. The one cancer chewed up when I was 12, had bought me before she faded. I stumbled to the mirror, half expecting a ghost staring back, but there I was, Paisley Harper, all sharp cheekbones and wild auburn curls, eyes green as envy and twice as poisonous now. The scars from the accident 7 years from now?
Gone.
The trust fund Dad promised? Still intact, or so I thought. Downstairs, the house hummed with Saturday morning normalcy, Dad's laughter booming from the kitchen, the sizzle of bacon on the griddle. Elena, my stepmother, wasn't there yet. She'd slither into our lives like a bad sequel 6 months from now, all fake smiles and designer yoga pants, fresh off her divorce from some tech bro in Silicon Valley. But I knew her playbook. Knew how she'd whisper poison into Dad's ear, turn him against me, the troubled daughter who dared question her shopping sprees. In my first life, she'd convinced him I was spiraling, drugs, boys, whatever stick would beat the narrative. By the time of his retirement bash in 2025, I'd been reduced to a ghost in my own home, and that night, after the toasts and the tears, she'd handed me an eviction notice wrapped in a bow. I gripped the banister, knuckles white, forcing my legs to move. Every step was a minefield of memories. The way Dad's eyes had dulled when Elena called me ungrateful, the board meeting where he'd signed over the family company to her cronies, the anonymous tip to the cops that painted me as the embezzler. Harper Industries, tires and auto parts, the backbone of Detroit's Rust Belt revival under Dad's watch, was supposed to be mine. Instead, it became her empire, built on my corpse. Morning, sleepyhead. Dad called as I hit the kitchen linoleum. He was at the stove, 62, but looking 40 thanks to those CrossFit sessions Elena would later mock him out of. His salt and pepper hair stuck up in tufts, apron smeared with grease. Pancakes or French toast? Your call. I froze, throat tight. This man, this stranger in familiar skin, had buried me alive. Not with his hands. Oh no, he was too chicken shit for that, but with neglect, with choices that let Elena's web tighten. Pancakes, I croaked, sliding onto a stool. He hummed some Springsteen tune, flipping batter like nothing had shattered yet. We ate in that easy silence I hadn't felt since Mom died, him rambling about the latest factory upgrades, me nodding along while my mind raced. Revenge wasn't a movie montage, it was chess, and I was 3 moves from checkmate already. First, fortify. I'd skim the edges of the company books, plant digital breadcrumbs Elena couldn't erase. Second, expose. Dig up her skeletons, the offshore accounts, the affair with Dad's CFO that started it all. Third, burn it down. But not before making them watch. By afternoon, I was in the attic, dust motes dancing in the sunlight like confetti at a funeral. Dad's old files, yellowed and forgotten, spilled from cardboard boxes, tax returns, blueprints for the first plant, Mom's obituary clipped from the free press. Buried under it all, a manila envelope sealed with Dad's chicken scratch initials. Heart pounding, I tore it open. Inside, letters from Elena, dated 2 years back, before she even met him. Love notes?
No.
Blackmail. She'd known about the EPA violations at the '98 plant fire, the one Dad covered up to save the company. Mom had died in that blaze, technically a tragic accident, but Elena had proof, photos of falsified reports, witness statements silenced with payoffs. And she'd used it to worm her way in, promising discretion for a slice of the pie. My hands shook as I refolded the pages. This was the betrayal's root, Dad's secret sin. The one he'd die protecting, the one that made him Elena's puppet. In my first life, I'd uncovered it too late, after she'd twisted it into my noose. Paisley's the one who leaked it, she'd lied, framing me as the whistleblower gone rogue. The feds raided, Dad disowned me, and that trunk ride to the desert was her cleanup. I shoved the envelope into my backpack, mind whirring. Call the cops? Nah, too clean, too merciful. This needed teeth, public, vicious, the kind of scandal that tanked reputations on page 6 and 60 Minutes. But first, survival. I needed allies, leverage. My phone buzzed. A text from Jax, my ex from college, in this timeline yet to happen. Party at the loft tonight? Miss your firecracker ass. I smirked. Jax, the hacker kid with a moral compass looser than his jeans. In life one, he'd ghosted me when shit hit. Now, he'd be my white knight in black hat. Night fell sticky and electric, Detroit's summer hum vibrating through the cracked windows of Jax's warehouse loft in Corktown. Bass thumped from hidden speakers, bodies grinding in the haze of weed and cheap tequila. I spotted him across the room. Tall, tattooed, that perpetual half-grin like he knew your secrets but wouldn't tell. Paisley Harper, he drawled, pulling me into a hug that lingered. Thought you were grounded till kingdom come. Dad's rules, I lied, clinking my solo cup against his. But rules are for suckers. We talked shit for hours, his latest gig cracking bank firewalls, my boring internship at Harper that was anything but. By midnight, buzzed and bold, I leaned in. Hypothetically, if I needed dirt on someone. Family level deep. What's your rate? His eyes sharpened, grin fading. Depends on the someone. And the why. I told him everything, minus the dying part. The letters, the fire, Elena's shadow creeping closer. Jax whistled low, draining his drink. That's nuclear pious. You sure you want to nuke your own blood? Blood? Dad had spilled mine first. They nuked me years ago. This is just fallout. He nodded, slow, like committing to a heist. All right, but we do it smart. No traces. Give me a week. We sealed it with a kiss that tasted like rebellion, his hands rough on my waist, my pulse a war drum. For the first time since waking, I felt alive, not undead, not vengeful ghost, but Paisley 2.0, sharper, unbreakable. The week blurred, days shadowing Dad at the office, eavesdropping on calls where Elena's name already flickered like a bad omen. Met this consultant. He'd confide over lunch, eyes lighting up. Smart as hell. Thinks like me. I smiled, nodded, all while Jax fed me prelims. Elena's LinkedIn scrubbed clean, but her old emails from a defunct account? Gold. Affairs, bribes, a trail of ex-husbands left bankrupt. Then, the party invite dropped. Dad's retirement gala, 6 months accelerated in my warped timeline? No, fate's joke. The announcement email hit my inbox. Join us for Richard Harper's farewell bash, July 4th, the cabin up north. Fireworks, family, Elena's debut. My hook to reel them in. I spent the drive to the lake house plotting, windows down, wind whipping my hair like a flag of war. Jax rode shotgun, laptop balanced on his knees, running sims on Elena's digital footprint. She's sloppy, he said, smirking. Thinks VPNs are for pussies. The cabin loomed, cedar logs and wraparound porch, Lake Michigan lapping at the shore like a restless dog. Guests milled, uncles in polos, aunts with wine flutes, but my eyes locked on her. Elena Voss, 42 going on predatory, blonde bob and Lululemon armor, laughing too loud at Dad's elbow. She caught my stare, waved like we were sorority sisters. Paisley, come say hi to your future stepmom. Dad beamed, arm around her waist. Isn't she something? Elena's helping with the transition, board stuff, you know. I forced a grin, handshake firm as a vice. Thrilled. Really? Under the table later, as toasts clinked, I slipped Jax a USB. The letters digitized, annotated. Plant it, I whispered. Make it look like she emailed Dad last night. He vanished into the shadows, ghost in the machine. By dessert, key lime pie sticky sweet, the first crack showed. Dad's phone buzzed, his face drained. What the hell? Richard, we need to talk, Elena hissed, yanking him aside. I sipped my Chardonnay, heart steady. Round 1, jab. But the real punch? Coming. The morning after the party dawned gray and grudging, like fog rolling in like smoke from a fresh grave. I woke to the creak of floorboards, Dad's voice muffled through the walls, angry, pleading. Elena, this is insane. Those emails. They're from you? About the fire? Her reply sliced back, venom-laced silk. Fabricated, Richard. Someone's trying to sabotage us. Probably that daughter of yours. She's always resented me. I lay still, breath even, letting their paranoia fester. Jax had outdone himself. Not just leaks, but a full breadcrumb trail. Forged timestamps, IP bounces through Elena's known haunts. By noon, the cabin buzzed with whispers. Aunts shooting me side-eyes. Uncles clearing throats. Dad pulled me onto the porch, face etched like old leather. Paisley level with me. Did you? Dig into Elena's past. Innocence was my armor. I blinked, wide-eyed. Dad, I've been buried in spreadsheets for you.
Why?
What's going on? He deflated, rubbing his temples. Some bullshit surfaced. Old company crap. She's shaken, says it's targeted. I hugged him then, tight enough to feel his ribs, the man who'd once built forts with me after Mom's chemo days. We'll figure it out. Together. Lies. All of it, but they tasted like truth in the salt air. Elena watched from the kitchen window, arms crossed, lips a thin red slash. That night, as fireworks cracked over the water, reds and blues blooming like bruises, she cornered me by the dock. Listen, kiddo, she purred, cigarette glowing like a fuse. I know your type. Daddy's girl, clinging to scraps. But Richard's mine now. Pack your bags after this weekend. Make it easy on everyone. The words hit like déjà vu, that same ultimatum from my deathbed memory. Rage boiled, hot and black, but I swallowed it, smiled slow. Pack. Oh, Elena. You have no idea what's unpacking. She laughed, exhaling smoke in my face. Try me.
I did.
Jax's next drop hit at dawn. Anonymous posts on Glassdoor, Reddit's r/DetroitBiz, even a tip line to the Journal. Harper Industries insider exposes cover-up. 1998 fire killed ex-wife. Falsified docs buried it. No names yet, just enough to rattle the board, spike the stock dip. Dad called an emergency meeting, Elena glued to his side, her poise cracking like cheap veneer. Back in the city, I played the dutiful daughter. Coffee runs, late nights poring over leaked dockside planted myself. But alone, in the glow of my laptop, I dove deeper. The fire wasn't just Dad's sin. It was a web. Mom's death, lung cancer, we'd thought, accelerated after that blaze, toxins in the air she'd breathed working overtime. And Elena? She'd been the plant manager's assistant back then, fired for incompetence, but really for asking too many questions. Her blackmail wasn't greed. It was grudge, a slow poison brewed over decades. Jax crashed at my place 3 nights a week, our alliance blurring into something raw, nights tangled in sheets, his fingers tracing the phantom scars on my back. You're playing with fire, Pius, he'd murmur, breath hot against my neck. What if it burns you too? It already did, I'd whisper, pulling him closer. This time, I light the match. The board meeting loomed, Dad's big handover, Elena slated for VP of Ops. I finagled a seat as intern observer, notebook in lap like a shield. The room smelled of stale coffee and ambition, mahogany table, projections flickering stock charts. Dad stood, voice steady. Folks, after 30 years, it's time. Elena Voss brings fresh vision. Murmurs rippled. Then the projector glitched, or so they thought. Jax's worm. Elena's emails splashed across the screen, verbatim threats from the letters, twisted to implicate her in the cover-up.
Gasps.
Dad's face ashen. What is this? She bolted up, chair scraping. It's fake. Deep fake bullshit. But the CFO, her lover in my old life, shifted away, eyes darting. Elena, those signatures. Matched the old Voss file. Chaos erupted, shouts, phones buzzing with media alerts. I sat quiet, pen tapping, as security escorted her out. Dad's gaze found mine, pleading broken. Paisley, did you? I met it cool. Truth has a way of surfacing, Dad. Maybe it's time you faced yours. He didn't speak to me for days. Elena vanished, lawyers, no doubt, spinning damage control. But I wasn't done. The real hook, her secret deeper than blackmail. Digging through Jax's hacks, we uncovered it, a safety deposit box in Chicago, content scanned. Mom's real autopsy, tampered with post-fire. Elena hadn't just known. She'd signed off on the hush money, her initials on the falsified report. She'd helped bury Mom, literally, to protect her climb. Confrontation came unbidden, a rainy Tuesday in Dad's office. He looked smaller behind the desk, whiskey tumbler sweating rings. She's gone pious. Resigned.
But this.
It's destroying everything. Good, I said, sliding the autopsy printout across. Because she helped destroy Mom. And you let her. His eyes widened, then shuddered. You don't understand. The company, jobs, legacy. If it came out, it did. I leaned in, voice steel. And now, your choice. Fight for the truth, or watch me walk. He chose wrong again. Called his fixer, the same PI who'd tailed me in Life 1. Handle it, he muttered into the phone.
Me, the leak.
Elena, the victim. That night, tires crunched gravel outside my apartment. 2 goons, faces like chewed leather, dragged me into the hall. Mr. Harper sends regrets. One grunted, zip ties biting wrists. Black bag overhead, engine roar, echoes of the trunk, but this time, I was ready. Fist to throat, knee to groin, self-defense classes Jax insisted on. I twisted free, grabbed the lamp, smashed one skull. The other bolted, cursing. Sirens wailed distant. I'd hit speed dial on the fall. Cops came, questions flew. Dad's name dropped like a bomb. Assault, attempted kidnapping. Front page fodder. Harper air attacked. Tycoon dad implicated. Elena resurfaced on CNN, tear-streaked. Paisley's unstable. Fabrications to frame me. Public tore her apart. Justice for Paisley trended. Feminists rallying. Unions picketing plants. But the twist nod. Dad's call. Voicemail trembling. Paisley, stop.
Please.
For your mother. For Mom? The lie that stung. I deleted it, stealing for the next play. Revenge wasn't swift. It was a marathon, and I was lapping them. Jax paced my hospital room. Concussion watch, bruises blooming purple. This escalates, pious. They're cornered rats. Rats bite. I agreed, wincing as I sat up. So we bait bigger. Plan B, the gala. Dad's forced retirement party, now a farce. Press swarming the country club. Elena's invite revoked, but her shadow long. I'd crash, not as victim, but executioner. Dress sharp. Black sheath, heels like stilettos. Jax in my arm, hacker chic in slim suit. Paparazzi flashed as we rolled up, whispers like static. Inside, crystal chandeliers, jazz trio crooning Sinatra, board members in tuxes sweating bullets. Dad spotted me across the ballroom, glass midway to lips. Elena hovered near the bar, reinvented, red gown, new narrative as whistleblower ally.
Lies.
I waltzed up, Jax melting into the crowd.
Dad. Elena.
Miss me? Her smile cracked porcelain. Security, darling. But Dad waved them off, voice hoarse. Let her speak. I did. Microphone snatched from the bandstand, spotlight hot on skin. Ladies, gentlemen, family. Tonight, we toast Richard Harper. Pioneer. Father. Pause, eyes locking his. Murderer. Gasps rippled. The 1998 fire? Not accident. Cover up. My mother died choking on lies. Signed by Elena Voss. Slides projected, Jax's remote magic, docs, photos, her signature bold. Pandemonium.
Fists klinked, Elena shrieking Daniels.
Dad lunged, grabbing my arm. Enough. Not yet. I twisted free, voice carrying. He knew. Chose empire over us. And when I threatened to speak, sent thugs to silence me. Like they'll silence you. Cops burst in, my tip, timed perfect. Cuffs on Dad. Elena wailing as they Mirandized. Flashbulbs popped. A storm of justice. But as they dragged him past, his whisper cut. Paisley. I loved her. I love you. Too late. Or was it? The fallout hit like a Michigan nor'easter. Relentless. Uprooting everything in its path. Harper Industries stock cratered 40% overnight. Board fleeing like rats from a blaze. Dad and Elena booked in county lockup. Separate cells, but same stink of regret.
Me?
Front and center on every network. Heiress exposes dynasty of deceit. Interviews piled. CNN wanted my trauma journey. Podcasters chased the girl boss revenge arc. I dodged most, holing up in Jax's loft, nursing a black eye and a buzz that wouldn't quit. Sleep, pious. Jax urged one dawn, coffee steaming between us. Rain lashed windows, thunder rumbling like distant applause. You won. Let it settle. Won?
The word tasted like ash.
Victory should feel clean, but it clawed inside, hooks of what-ifs. What if Dad's whisper held truth? What if Mom's ghost haunted not them, but me, for dragging her bones through the mud? I paced, bare feet cold on concrete. It's not over. Elena's got pull, lawyers, alibis. She'll spin this as my delusion. He pulled me down, hands steady on shoulders. Then we counter. Full court press.
We did.
Mornings bled into strategy sessions. Affidavits from old plant workers, silenced for decades, now singing for settlements. Jax unearthed more. Elena's college thesis, plagiarized from Mom's unpublished safety protocols, the very ones ignored in the fire. Irony? Delicious. I leaked it to the Times, headline screaming, Stepmom's theft killed stepmom. Public devoured it, Paisley rising a bonfire. Feminists hailed me icon, conservatives decried family wrecker. Protests swelled outside the courthouse, unions demanding audits, victims' families clutching photos of lost ones. I spoke at one megaphone heavy. This isn't about me. It's about silence ending. About women like my mom, erased for profit. Cheers erupted, but inside, doubt festered. Dad's trial loomed, manslaughter, conspiracy, and Elena's, tangled with his. Separate. But her defense? Coerced by Richard. Paisley planted the rest. Gaslighting. Vintage her. Visitation day. I went alone. The jail reeked of bleach and despair. Buzzer doors clanging like judgments. Dad shuffled in. Orange jumpsuit swallowing him, chains rattling soft. Paisley. His voice broke, eyes, Mom's eyes pleading. You came. Not for hugs. I sat, glass partition cold between. For answers. Why her? Why bury Mom? He leaned close, breath fogging. I didn't bury her. Saved us. The fire, faulty wiring, but inspections? Bribes flew. Elena found out, threatened exposure unless I elevated her. Thought it was business. Not realizing she'd take everything. Including me. Bitterness surged. You signed my death warrant, Dad. Evicted me, framed me, let her bash my skull. He recoiled.
What?
No, Paisley the trunk? That was her rogue. I never. Liar. But his face crumpled, genuine. First crack in my armor. Prove it. I will.
On stand.
Full confession. Take the fall, clear your name. Elena's the snake. I left shaking, Jax waiting in the lot, engine idling. He buy it?
Worse.
I might. Rain slicked the windshield, wipers slashing truth from lies. The decision gnawed. Pardon him? The man who'd failed twice? It was controversial as hell. Forgive the patriarch, become the prodigal daughter, or double down, torch the empire I'd inherit? Forums exploded. Paisley's softening. Betrayal or growth? Trolls called me weak. Allies urged grace. Elena's move came sly. Leaked audio, me at 18, drunk ranting about ditching dad's corpse cache. Out of context, damning. Painted me vengeful psycho. Stock dipped again. Board sued for control. Jax traced it. Her prison phone, smuggled burner. Enough. I countered brutal. Press conference, live on Fox and MSNBC. Podium under Klieg lights, Jax off stage. Thumb up. Elena's desperate. Fabrications won't save her. But here's truth. I offered Dad a way out. He chose her. Again. Played the voicemail, his handle-it call to the PI. Jaws dropped nationwide. Polls swung. 62% cited me, per CNN flash. But the hate? Viscous. Death threats pinged my inbox. Harper whore, karma's trunk-bound. Security shadowed me, Jax sleeping with a Glock under pillow. Trial week, Detroit sweltered, humidity thick as accusations. Courthouse steps mobbed, signs waving. Justice for June Harper. Mom's name alive again. Inside, wood-paneled hush, jury box stern faces. Elena first, sleek suit, hairpin severe, testimony a masterclass in deflection. Richard manipulated me. Paisley? Obsessed, hacking my life for drama. Cross-exam? My lawyer, Shark from ACLU, pro bono for the optics, unleashed, emails, signatures, the box's contents. Her cool cracked. Objection. Hearsay. But judge overruled. Jurors leaned in, eyes narrowing. Dad's turn gutted me. Sworn in, hands trembling on Bible. I failed. June, she warned me about corners cut. But I cut them.
Elena.
She was escape from guilt. Voice cracked. The attack on Paisley? My order. To scare, not harm.
Elena escalated.
I take it all. Sobs from gallery, uncles, cousins, faces I'd forgotten.
Me?
Stone, but tears burned. Controversial call, I testified next. He's right. I came back, metaphorically, from hell to end this. But forgiveness? Earned, not given. Murmurs. Judge banged gavel. Deliberation dragged 2 days. I paced Jax's loft, chain-smoking his Camels. What if they acquit? Then we appeal. Or vanish. Your call. Verdict dropped like thunder. Elena, guilty. Conspiracy, fraud, 20 to life. Dad? Manslaughter, 10 with parole. Hugs in the hall, flashes blinding, but his eyes met mine over shoulders. Gratitude, shame. Outside, rain again cleansing. Reporters swarmed. Paisley, regret? I paused, Jax's hand in mine. Regrets for the dead.
I'm alive.
But alive meant choices. Inherit? Harper teetered, but unions pushed revival. Green tech, Mom's protocols revived.
Or walk.
Start fresh, Jax and I, road-tripping coasts. The controversial pivot. I chose both. Presser next week. Rebuilding. With oversight. No more secrets. Board grumbled, but public roared approval. Elena appealed from cell, headlines fading. Jax and I celebrated low-key. Diner fries at 2 a.m., his boot nudging mine. Proud of you, firecracker. Us, I corrected, stealing a fry. But doubt lingered. Dad's letters from prison, weekly now, pleas for visit. Forgive? The American dream. Redemption arcs, family ties mended over turkey.
Or nah.
Revenge's aftertaste? Bitter but mine. Months blurred into a fragile normalcy, the kind stitched from scandal's threads, loose ends fraying if you tugged wrong. Harper Industries limped under interim CEO, a gray suit named Harlan I'd handpicked. Ex-EPA, no nonsense, green mandates first. I consulted part-time, audits my hammer, ensuring every bolt traced clean. Stock stabilized, whispers of buyout fading as Paisley Protocol, trended, worker co-ops, transparency dashboards. Detroit breathed easier, murals popping on factory walls, fists raised, mom's face stylized in one, eyes fierce. Jax thrived in chaos, freelance gigs exploding, ethical hacks for nonprofits, me his muse. We upgraded. His loft to a Corktown brownstone, creaky but ours, bed shared without ghosts. Nights, we'd debrief over bourbon, Elena's appeal denied, or Dad's parole hearing next spring, his thumbs circling my wrist like anchor. But anchors drag. Dad's letters piled, yellow post-its on fridge. Miss our talks. Love, R. I read, crumpled, repeated. Forgiveness? A luxury for Hallmark, not bloodied ledgers. Controversial as admitting weakness, I scheduled visit, Thanksgiving neutral ground. Prison rec room, turkey on styrofoam. He looked older, thinner, but smile real when buzzer let me in.
Paisley.
You came. No chains this time. Good behavior perks. Turkey's cold, I noted, poking Jell-O salad. Small talk first. Company stats, my boyfriend Jax, his eyebrow arch approval. Then dive. Why now? Why confess? Guilt etched him.
You.
Waking me. In there. Dreams of June, screaming from smoke.
Elena.
Blind spot. Thought she'd heal the hole she widened.
Heal.
Laughter bitter. She filled it with my coffin. He flinched. I know. Therapy here group. Admitting. It frees. Hand to glass. Forgive?
No.
But understand. I nodded, throat tight. Working on it. Left lighter, but not absolved. Public ate the reunion leak. Spin it positive, I urged PR. Harper air heals wounds. Backlash brewed. Victims groups picketed my office. No mercy for killers. Forums lit. Paisley's gone soft. Blood money rehab? Decision time. Gut twist. Testify for his parole? Risky. Painted me complicit, but true to the gray I'd embraced. Jax debated over pizza, sauce staining his shirt. Your call, but own it. Half measures bite back. I owned. Hearing room stuffy, wood paneled like trial echo. Judge spectacled, board stern, shrinks wardens. Dad in suit, cuff subtle. My turn. Richard Harper failed me.
Us.
But he's owned it, counseled inmates on cover-ups, donated pension to fire victims fund.
Pause, eyes his.
Parole him. Let him rebuild, supervised. Granted. Outrage exploded. Headlines leniency for legacy. Protests swelled, bricks through my car window, graffiti on brownstone. Traitor Paisley. Jack's beef security, but sleep fled. Nightmares of trunks, bats, now mixed with Dad's free face. Elena's shadow stirred. From Supermax, appeals exhausted, but whispers of tell-all book. Publisher sniffed blood. Inside the Harper hell, a woman's fight. Leaks hit. Chapters blaming me. Deranged daughter, claiming I seduced Jax to hacker. Fiction, but venomous. Sales projected million. Boycott calls trended. Counterstrike? My memoir, ghosted fast, raw, unfiltered. Reborn in rage. A daughter's reckoning. Dropped pre-hers. Charts topped NYT. Excerpts viral. My death dream opener. Hook that chilled. I died in a trunk, but woke to rewrite the end. Fans devoured. Elena's flopped. Pulped unsold. But high came crash. Dad's release. Midway airport, neutral. Jax drove. Tension thick. He emerged hesitant. Duffel slung. Scanning for ambush.
Ibaita curpsida. Nope.
Paisley. Richard. Formal. Test. Diner nearby. Booths cracked vinyl, coffee bitter. He ordered black like always. Where to? Rehab gig nonprofit, teaching ethics. Low profile. Eyes searched mine. You?
Building.
Literally new plant, solar tires. Silence stretched. Stay clean. Or next time, no testimony. Promise. Handshake, electric, first touch since cuffs. Public split. Heartwarming versus Stockholm. I leaned into controversy. TED Talk booked. Revenge versus redemption. Why I chose both. Stage lights hot, crowd hushed. America loves vigilantes, Batman capes, Rambo rants. But real power? Nuance. I could have buried Dad like he buried Mom. Instead, raised him. Applause thundered, but Q&A stung. Was it weakness? A vet, scarred face. Or strategy? Both, I admitted. Weakness admits humanity. Strategy wins wars. Post-talk high, Jax and I escaped. Road trip, Route 66 Echo, Detroit to Cali. Stops. Diners with neon buzz, motels with heart tubs. One night, Grand Canyon Rim, stars brutal clear, he proposed, not ring, but plan. Build with me? Not just hacks, life. Knees weak, yes tumbled. But phone buzzed. Elena's suicide note leaked. Paisley won. End it. Faked? Prison psych, eval said stable. Suspicion coiled. Her last play, martyr crown? Investigation quick. Forgery. Her lawyer's desk. Charges added. Fraud. But damage? Sympathy swell. Free Elena murmurs. Crisis peak. Board coup. Harlan ousted, suits circling. Paisley's too volatile. Emergency vote. My shares pivotal. Dad called. Fight them. For June. I did, but twist. Allied with him. Joint statement. Harper 2.0, father-daughter led. Stock spiked. Coup crumbled. Yet, in victory's hush, Elena's final card, smuggled letter to me by a guard. You think you won? Check the DNA. Attached, report, yellowed. Mom's autopsy addendum, paternity test, buried deep. Dad? Not bio. Some fling from her grad days. Engineer lost to time. World tilted. Mom's secret, affair? Cover for the fire guilt? Questions avalanche. Confront Dad? Hunt the ghost father? Jax held me as sobs racked. Your choice, Pius. Again. Choice. Burn it or unearth. American grit. Chase truth, no matter cost. The DNA report burned holes in my pocket for weeks, a grenade pin half pulled. Mom's handwriting scrawled margins. Richard knows. Forgave. Don't. Forgave? The man who'd built empires on her ghost. Now my maybe not dad. I stashed it in the brownstone safe. Told no one, not Jax, not the board. Secrets breed like weeds. I'd yank this one slow. Dad settled into halfway house rhythm. Ethics seminars at community colleges. Weekends volunteering at firehouses. Irony thick as smoke. We met bi-weekly, neutral cafes. Talks skirting deep. Proud of the solar plant, he'd say, stirring sugarless tea. June'd love it. Would she? I'd probe, eyes sharp. Lies showed in twitches his left eye, tell from poker nights. But the report? Crickets. Maybe mercy, or fear it'd shatter our fragile truce. Jax sensed the shadow. Nights when I'd bolt awake, gasping trunk air. Talk, Pius. Curled against him, Grand Canyon ring, simple gold, engraved rewrite, winking in lamplight. Family's fractal. Breaks don't end it. But Elena's specter clawed back. Her book's flop-birthed podcast, Betrayed by Blood, hosted from cell, voice syrupy victim. Episodes dissected me. Paisley's paranoia, rooted in abandonment. Listeners lapped, merch sold, mugs with truth over ties. Controversial spike. Guess my old therapist, bound by no rules now, spilling sessions. Paisley fixated on control. Trunch rebirth? Delusional. Rage reignited. Lawsuit slammed. Defamation, breach. Discovery unearthed gold. Her burner logs, plotting my disappearance redux. Trial mini, but media circus. Courtroom sketches viral, her in orange glowering. Verdict, shut down, damages million, donated to fire widows. She cracked post-loss, shank hidden in mattress, suicide attempt, real this time. Coma ward, machines beeping dirge. Dad visited, came back hollow. Wants to see you. Me? The executioner turned confessor? Gut churned, but I went. Hospital sterile, her frail undersheets, tubes snaking, monitors flatlining hope. Eyes fluttered open, hate dimmed to defeat.
Comeglot. No.
Chair scraped. End it. Why me? Lips cracked whisper. You remind me of her. June, brilliant, unbreakable. Stole my shot. Married up. I clawed back, but you rose. Pity twisted, unwanted. Stole? Mom died for your grudge. Tears tracked. Knew that. Couldn't stop. Addiction, power. Like your dad. I left silent, pieces slotting. Cycle's end or mine. Twist hit on route home. Jack's waiting, face grave.
Called your PI.
The engineer?
Alive.
Chicago prof, retired. World spun. Bio dad, Dr. Ellis Kane, civil engineer, mom's thesis advisor. Affair? Mentorship gone spark. I drove north solo. Jax's texts unread. Breathe. His bungalow modest, ivy porch, bookshelves groaning. Doorbell chimed soft. He answered. Silver hair, glasses perched. Paisley Harper? Voice warm, familiar, green eyes mine. How? June's letters. After she passed, reached out. Watched from afar, proud but distant. Your fire, like hers. Tea in mugs, stories spilled. Mom's laugh, late nights debating codes. The fire's warning she'd ignored for love. Richard knew.
Chose silence.
I chose absence, wife. Kids, no drama.
Kids.
Half-sibs? 2 daughters. They'd love Aunt.
Aunt.
Laughter bubbled, free. No revenge here, just roots untangled. Back in Detroit, integrations layered. Ellis visits, sisters, tentative texts, coffee. Dad met him neutral, barbecue pit, ribs smoking truce. Awkward laughs, shared toasts. To June. No blood, but bond, forged, not born. Elena's end quiet. Plea for early release, compassionate. I didn't block. Let karma's will turn. She faded into obscurity. Podcast pulped. Company thrived. Solar tires rolled out. Named June's legacy. I stepped CEO, dad advisor. Controversial duo, but metrics sang. TED follow-up. Fractured families. Building from ruins. Crowd roared. Book deal followed. Royalties to scholarships. Jax and I. Wedding small. Corktown rooftop. String lights like party echoes. Vows raw. Rewrite together. Honeymoon Road. 66 Redux. Canyon Stars witness. Last hook. Dad's toast at reception. Voice steady. Paisley taught me. Death is an end. Rebirth is choice. Eyes wet. Chose you. Always. I hugged then. Real. Scars faded. Trunk memory dust. Betrayal sting? Scar tissue. Toughened. Not happy ever after fairy. American gritty. Flawed. Fierce forward. I woke daily to it. Breath in lungs. Love in arms. Legacy in hands. Reborn? Hell yes. And the Packers? Long buried.